Oh my God, we be having fun, bro. Just don't know we have too much fun.
So, thank you guys for kicking it with us. Appreciate you for hitting the like button. Appreciate you guys all for all being here. To your favorite after church podcast. Appreciate you guys. So, do you really care to talk about that?
Nah, fuck this nigga. That's Jussie Smollett, man. Juicy Smollett.
His case got overturned, and now he's
fuck dude. Next.
All right, so I have a genuine question about this one.
Okay, that's cool, man. Let's go.
So I listened to this person talk, not a lot, but I've heard her talk enough.
Crockett.
Yeah, I've heard her on the Breakfast Club in particular.
You like her?
No. So check this out. Just curious.
Yep. Okay, Ms. Crockett.
So many of you know that I practice law, but some of you don't realize that I actually was a business major out of Rhodes College in Memphis, Tennessee. And the emphasis that I got in my business degree was on finance. And as I traveled the country campaigning this election cycle, one of the things that I talked about was this idea that in finance, we always promote this idea of diversity. If you know anything about a portfolio, the one thing that you want to do is make sure that it's as diverse as possible, because at times certain stocks will perform better than others, and they will exemplify various strengths and weaknesses, and together.
I have to say this because just something that just popped up in my mind right now. Can we, not me, maybe just me, but can I just admire how clean she looks here? Like, she got the hair pulled back, the nails ain't crazy, the makeup ain't crazy. Like, she just looks real professional. Yeah? Yeah.
What do people say? As she should.
Right.
In comparison to what?
Well, I mean,
these hoes.
Talking
that's a good point he just made. And to referring to who?
Well, I mean, the
opposite.
You don't see a lot of nice dress, professional dress. You know what I'm saying?
Talking in a setting like this?
Yeah, that's what
I mean, of course, she's in the proper setting, but I think in general, like a lot of times what comes across the screen is that you get a woman that's just, dressed whatever. And I understand where he's coming from. I mean, yeah, she's in the proper space for it. I mean, obviously, she ain't going to be up there with her titties out.
Have you seen something other than this in this setting? Is what I'm asking.
Because when I see professional women, I see exactly that.
Yeah, I mean, they should, but I'm just saying what comes across the screen so often is black women that are always plastered on the screen as something wearing other than, and maybe that's just social media too.
That's what it probably is too.
So I don't have a particular example right now because I just thought about it at this very moment, but I have seen it in those type, maybe not this particular setting, but a different setting of this magnitude. So it would just be distracting. Like they'll have on, if it not necessarily even a black woman, it just something that's not professional, that's distracting from the conversation. It was just something that just
should be in restaurants. Goddamn it, you could be at a real nice Ruth Chris type shit, and they out there titties all out, ass all out.
The workers, the people working, or the patrons?
The patrons.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, to me, it matters because that's not that type of place. This ain't fucking McDonald's. You know what I mean? To me, it matters. To me, you see what I'm saying? Because it's a class type thing. I think it's it's just a certain mentality, certain things that you wear. It's like back in the day, they would go downtown. That has changed, of course. Right. But back in the day, they would dress up to go downtown. Right.
Certain movies.
You would dress up to do certain things. And I feel like...
I wouldn't wear this to Ruth Chris.
Right. So you're going to wear your club attire everywhere. You don't wear your club attire to church. You don't wear so that's what I'm saying. And so much is club attire just everywhere. Or it's either club attire or you look like a fucking slouch. You know what I'm saying?
Right, sweats or whatever.
Yeah,
stains.
Yeah, just nasty looking. So ain't no in between. Is looking nasty and then going out and putting on club attire.
Right, and I'm not saying, I know somebody's going to watch this playback and say, oh, they don't have to dress like that all the time. That's not what I'm saying. Pay attention to what I'm saying. I'm talking specifically at this moment. I just like how she looks. Now, generally speaking,
I subscribe if you say that stupid shit. That's another one.
No, generally speaking, I like the dressed up look. I'm not talking about suit and jacket and all that stuff. I'm talking about something that you really put together. The less skin, the better. Less shown skin, the better for me.
I mean, to each his own.
Yeah, it's a time and place.
Way to do everything.
It's a time and place. You don't want to be on the beach dressed like that as well.
Exactly,
you know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Yeah.
I feel like. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Hell no, I want to hear it.
No, I was just saying, like, I feel like it's a you can be sexy in a classy way, right? You can show a bit. You don't have to be covered from head to toe to be classy. You know what I'm saying?
No doubt.
You can show a calf,
Right. No doubt. But you also don't have to show necessarily skin to be
Everything.
sexy.
Yeah,
Like I think
true.
you know what I'm saying. And I
Yeah.
think that's what happens is that we're
Oversaturated. Yeah,
it's too much skin to try to overcompensate for sexy. Like
Yeah.
you still don't have it. It's an aura. Being sexy is an aura. It's not necessarily just you showing skin.
Right.
You just
Is
a
it,
bossa.
is it just a fine line between sexy and slutty?
Yeah.
That's just what it is, right? Just sexy and slutty, right?
I think so. Sexy is when you go in the club, and slutty is when you come out. Like, you know how they looking when they come.
Makeup be serious.
Yeah. Oh, help me! Like, you know what I'm saying?
One heel in your hand, one panty stocking on.
OG said you should not go to McDonald's looking ratchet either.
No, I agree, but that's what you're gonna get. You're gonna get ratchet cheeseburgers. So, I mean,
Right, Walmart got a reputation for a reason.
yeah, shit. Wally World.
Right.
Did you say a bopper?
Huh?
You said a bopper?
Yeah, Bopper. Burger King got
Oh, shit, man.
And Cultivate said, and she doesn't have fat eyelashes.
yeah.
Let's see. OG said that's what it is. What y'all be looking at. Be Humble said, good one, Jay. Nasty Beauty said there was a TikTok of a prostitute crying because it's hard for them to find clothes.
Yeah.
What? What?
I mean, shit.
Take the strings out of your shoes. Like, what do you wear? Jeez. The normal females are taking all of the street clothes. Cultivate said, less is more, and a woman with substance is everything.
Yeah, for sure.
Big facts. Cultivate big facts. All right. So, to what she's actually talking about.
A diverse
We didn't sit
portfolio
up there and
is
sexualize
usually
shit out
what
this
any
woman.
good
No, hell no. Nope. We didn't
They
sexualize this woman.
We appreciate her classiness.
honestly.
It's all right. You know,
Just appreciate her beauty.
Appreciated her classiness.
Okay.
all right.
and vanilla wafers, believing that that is going to be the strongest portfolio, but instead they may want to add some chocolate cake and some Twinkies into the mix to make sure that we have the best portfolio, because there will be different preferences by different people, and again, there will be different strengths. But as I sit here and I think about what we say and what I'm hearing as it relates to diversity when it comes to anything outside of making money, and to be clear, we are losing GDP every time we try to push back on this idea of diversity, because all of us bring something different to the table. But you consistently said over and over the word oppression, and every time that you said it, it was almost as if I was hearing nails on a chalkboard, because it seems like you don't understand the definition of oppression, and I'd ask you to just refer to Google to help you out. Oppression is the prolonged, cruel, or unjust treatment or control. That is the definition of oppression. And so as I sit here as a black woman who practiced civil rights, let me tell you, the reason that my colleagues wanted to make sure you understood the same black history that your side of the aisle wants to delete out of classrooms is because you can then misuse words like oppression. There has been no oppression for the white man in this country. You tell me which white men were dragged out of their homes. You tell me which one of them got dragged all the way across an ocean and told that you are going to go and work. We are going to steal your wives. We are going to rape your wives. That didn't happen. That is oppression. We didn't ask to be here. We're not the same migrants that y'all constantly come up against. We didn't run away from home. We were stolen. So yeah, we are going to sit here and be offended when you want to sit here and act like, and don't let it escape you, that it is white men on this side of the aisle telling us, people of color on this side of the aisle, that y'all are the ones being oppressed, that y'all are the ones that are being harmed. That's not the definition of oppression. You tell me the prolonged, cruel, or unjust treatment that you've had, and we can have a conversation.
You can start with Exodus.
The final thing that I will say on this particular issue.
You can start with Exodus. I'm not sure exactly what he meant. I assumed Exodus in the Bible, but I don't know how that would relate.
Okay.
Two things. There is an article from The Guardian, and it is a little old. It's from 2021, so I apologize. But it said that back then, just 3 years ago, white men represent 30% of the population, but 62% of office holders. These are the issues that we are constantly looking at and recognizing and trying to say, is this just?
I can't even tell you how many white men have served in this chamber, but I can tell you that I am only the 55th black woman to be elected to Congress. And so when you want to talk about history and pretend as if it was so long ago, it wasn't. Because again, I am just number 55. Finally, when we started to talk about what do these numbers do, as we're trying to say that diversity, equity, and inclusion is the problem, the reality is that when it comes to financial performance, companies with more diverse workforces are more likely to outperform their competitors. Companies in the top quartile for racial diversity are 35% more likely to outperform their peers on profitability. Companies with diverse executive teams are 25% more likely to generate greater profits. Diverse companies earn 2.5 times higher cash flow per employee. Diversity works. And until you can show me data that says otherwise, I think that we need to go back to being a country that listens to experts and gets out of our feelings and recognizes, again, that racism is real in this country, and until we stop pretending that it's not, we will not solve the problems that we are consistently facing, and that will bring real unity that we seek when we're looking for a more perfect union.
All right. So my question from that video, as you can probably imagine, was when it comes to one of the things that she mentioned, which is, she mentioned a lot, but she mentioned that she was like the 55th black woman to sit in the seat that she's in. I forget what her exact words were. Generally speaking, what are your thoughts on what she's saying about black people and being in certain positions in Congress and in government? What are your thoughts about what she said?
You want to go first, Jerry?
No, you can go first.
I think she has some validity to it. I think all, like, especially when you represent this great United States that we got, I think it should be like kind of a mix of, all type of people. I don't think it just should be all white men, all white women, all black people, all black women. I think it should be like a little bit of a mix. I think it should, like, in my opinion, generally like make up the same. Like, okay, we 13% of the population, we need to have 13% of that. This many of the population need to have that. Hispanics is so much percent of this population, they should have that in there also as well. So that's kind of what I think about it. Like, I really ain't got nothing else from just the question you just asked me. That's what I really think about it.
Every day you got anything?
So you saying should we be represented?
Like, you asking about my question?
Yeah.
What do you think about what she's saying about black people being represented?
I mean, I think we should be represented, but we also again, it always boils down to me on the local level. What you guys got going on the local level, right? We always think about abroad and not necessarily abroad, but we're looking at, what's going on in D.C. You guys can't get a handle on what you got going on locally, right? Let's take here the city of Chicago for an example. Mm-hmm. Most of your aldermen in the black neighborhood are black. Look at your fucking neighborhoods.
That's true. That's true. No pushback. That's true.
You see what I'm saying? Representation and shit don't mean nothing when if the black person looking like you don't do shit for you. So if ain't nobody doing nothing for you, then what's the point? Just to say we got somebody black? We've already done that. We had Barack Obama, right? The best thing you niggas could say is, oh, nigga, we had healthcare. Nigga, I already had healthcare. Okay? I already had it. The best thing y'all could come out and say, nigga been in office 8 years. Oh, nigga, we had healthcare. Come on, we got shit in our community that needs to be done. You already have black aldermen. You already have black mayors. You already have black legislators on your state level that don't do shit for you. Get that done first.
Will, did you caught the video, right?
Yeah.
So the question is,
and Brandon Johnson. I blame Brandon Johnson for everything. That's my new hashtag. I blame Brandon Johnson. So if you ask me anything, question else, I blame Brandon Johnson.
That dude is wild, bro.
Yeah, that motherfucking Mohawk. Wow.
But Will, the question?
Y'all laughing at me when I said this shit.
I mean, I laughed at you. You know what I'm saying? Because it was wild. Because it's not done. It's not that he got a mohawk. I could care less. This nigga could wear whatever. You know what I'm saying? I don't care about your hairstyle personally. But the fact that you spending $30,000 when I think about it, it's like, damn, this shit is wild. And I think it's $82 a day.
To me, it's a grown ass man with a mohawk in a position of power. It's crazy to me.
It could be, but $82 a day is even more crazy. Your shit ain't even looking right. I could jam with you if your shit was looking okay, nigga. You know what I'm saying? You're a little older, right? You know what I'm saying? But no, you paying $82 a day. So I agree here with the light skinned fella to my right that you know what, he was right. $30,000. You know, we came up. What we come with? That's $12,000 a year, right? That you at $250 a month. I mean, $250 a week. That's about what, $12,000 a year. $12,000. What are you doing with the other $18,000 there, Brandon Johnson? Stealing. So this is the black representation that you want, is what I'm saying. We want black representation for niggas to steal. I don't want a black person stealing from me. I don't want a white person stealing from me. I want somebody who's supposed to do their fucking job.
Right.
And that's the point. So just because a person is a certain color in there, it doesn't really mean shit if you're not going to do anything for me.
True.
I'd rather the white person be in there so then I can blame Brandon Johnson. Because I'm blaming Brandon Johnson.
So Will, the question at hand is, what do you think about Jasmine Crockett's thought process on black representation in Congress, in those governmental seats?
First of all, she lost me yelling. You can get your point across a lot more clear without yelling. Once you do that shit, you lose me every time. I don't care who you are, black, white, Asian. The moment you yell, it's cooked with me.
You been around a yelling Asian?
Yeah.
Damn. How'd they go?
It was crazy. I didn't know what the fuck he was saying. But he was yelling, and I'm like, who nails you fucked up? No, he owned a nail salon. Like, legit. But no, like, I'm going to start there. Yelling, you lost me there, right? Because to me, you're trying to force your point across to me because you have to you have to elevate your voice. You know what the fuck you're saying. Even though she was right, whatever what she was saying, I understand, like, Jay every day, 100% right. Start at your local levels. I don't care who's higher up. They're not doing nothing for the average person. All those people are in their fucking pockets, right? You talk about Brandon Johnson, but let's talk about the governor, right?
Pritzker, right?
Yeah, before him, we had Rob Blagojevich. Yeah. One of the most corrupt goddamn politicians ever. But he walked into that. It was already here. Now we got Pritzker. The next most corrupt goddamn fucking Trump is talking about
George
this man.
Ryan. All these niggas be going to jail here.
You hear me, right? And so, like, you want to talk about, that's the chain of command just for the state. So when you think about the people underneath them have to follow suit, people underneath them gotta follow suit. They're not allowing just anybody in, right? Yeah, you want your vote to count, your voice to matter. Y'all got to vote locally, right? You start there. Get your goddamn neighborhood together. Get your alderman that you see that lives in a fucking neighborhood. Yeah. How you got an alderman that live in Naperville? Make that make sense. Like fuck out of here. This man, you see him twice a year, right? When he's telling you to vote for him, but then election day. Fuck out of here. Like,
kind of like as many times as T.I.C. King, huh?
Exactly, right? He might FaceTime him. I do think representation matters, but having the right representation matters more.
Right. Timothy Taylor said Tiffany Hanyard. Yeah, these just want to be.
Again, this is all Illinois people, right? And I understand that this is where we live, but Illinois is one of the most crooked, corrupt states, period. For what reason, though? Like,
been called Crook County since I can remember.
100%. Fucking Daley gave away all the goddamn parking meters to the Saudi Arabians. Yeah. Y'all heard that deal? Like,
no, I never heard of that.
It gave them 99 years to own all the parking meters of Chicago.
Oh, okay. So when got you.
Yeah.
Okay.
So y'all paying the fucking meters and getting tickets from the meter maids. Ain't none of that going to the city. Yeah. That's in Abu Dhabi.
That's why they're able to build.
He gave it 99 years and got the fuck up out of there. You best believe he got a big cut.
Skyway too.
Yeah, just gave it away.
Who owned the Skyway?
For 75 years, Canada.
Canada owned Skyway for 75 years?
Yeah.
Cook, bro, he gave away everything. It was just like, all right, I'm out. Y'all can have it. But we allow that shit by not having people in positions to check in when he want to do that shit. Y'all vote for whatever, then scream about the president. Yeah. President don't know who the fuck none of us is in this goddamn room.
Right.
That's a fact. That's a straight fact.
Ain't nobody trying to help None of us, right? But the person who's supposed to know is your mayor. I know my mayor. I live in a suburb. I know this man. When he have little town hall, I go. I need to know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Right across the street, they tried to put a quick trip right here. No, you better believe I went to the meeting and say, no, I don't want one across the street from me. All right? I ain't trying to be like, oh, I'm all in the politics. I'm not that guy. But I try to practice what I preach. If I'm going to sit here and tell y'all need to practice y'all local shit, I know where my mayor lives out here. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Where they live at?
He lived like a couple houses back this way. No lie. No, I'm dead ass. I ain't going to say his man.
Don't be like T.I.
It's okay. I found them on white pages.
Yo, you ain't got to look that hard. You can just look it up. It's on the village website. Yeah. But like, I try to make sure I'm involved. If I'm going to tell people to do it, I try to lead by example. That way, when you ask me how, because I feel like a lot of times you can know what to do but not know how to do it, right? Tell you how. I'm like, this is what I did. This is how I got involved in my community. This is how I know what's going on. That's how I know they finna get rid of the Dunkin' Donuts right here because then people don't want to pay their property tax. You know, so like, because they don't want to pay their shit, my shit got to go up. Get them up out of here. Like, try to be involved. It's not that freaking hard. It's not. Chicago is broke down into different sections with aldermen for a reason. Them people are supposed to work for you. You ever seen the white people scream at the cops? You work for me. Your alderman works for you too. Yeah. You're paying that man's salary directly. So whoever you allow in, that's your neighborhood. Ain't no big wage or you ain't got to have a huge campaign to win alderman. Like, work your neighborhood. Yeah. People vote. Shit, there's only 20 people who go vote anyway. Yeah. Get 11 and you win.
Hey, but you know, you speak straight facts, right? Because I keep referring because me and this nigga, we talk about all this stuff. But when you go to like Hispanic neighborhoods, right? And I'm not saying they live in the best places, but it be clean. The grass be cut. It don't be no abandoned buildings around. Like if you go through Melrose Park, right? I don't know if people, familiar with that or the Chicagoland area. You drive down North Avenue through Melrose Park. Look at how many things. I don't know who they alderman or who they mayor or whoever's there, but he's bringing stuff there. They got a Cane's there. They got a movie theater there. They just built a Andy's ice cream there. All that, they got all that shit that didn't make money. They brung new shit in there to make money, to make their thing thrive. Right. And you go drive down them blocks, 9th, 5th, 19th, 25th. All the grass is cut. It ain't no abandoned buildings. It ain't no bottles or broken glass and nowhere. Everything looks nice and neat. And I used to always ask, me and him used to always like, when you drive through these, why ours look like that, but theirs look like that? And you just ask the question, like, why? But they represent themselves, because it's an Hispanic in there, and we represent ourselves, but our shit still look like that.
Yeah. Melrose Park is old Italian, too.
Is what?
Old Italian.
Old Italian.
Well, that's why that steak joint just still right there. They ain't moving. I don't know, but they ain't going nowhere neither.
If you go down even if you go down Division, right? Division. If you ride down Division, they still got old little Italian spots that So yeah, it's heavily Mexican, and I agree because even when it comes to school, you can look at the difference between their schools. Their schools got a lot of color and stuff like that for the kids. It looks real
pavement.
Yeah, heavy. Yeah, right. So it looks real inviting. You go to our shit, it look like jail. Like, you know what I mean? Just you got beige and black and just shit that
grass
makes you
going out of the concrete.
It doesn't look fun. It doesn't look inviting. It doesn't look like a place, a safe haven for kids.
And I just always, like you say, it don't matter who you got up in there. Is you working for us? Is you trying to make it better around here? Yeah. And there's for much taxes as we pay as Americans, just period. I ain't talking about wherever the fuck you live at, in America. Much taxes as we pay. Because I know Jerry Day done said his tax bill been going up. And and every time, why the fuck does our country look like this? It shouldn't be no different to why our country don't like Abu Dhabi or some shit like that. Much money as we paying taxes.
Stellar.
Huh? Much money as we paying taxes. This country shouldn't be like cold as hell.
Yeah, no, and I agree because
we shouldn't have no hoods, no ghettos, no none of that shit here.
All of Abu Dhabi ain't living like that.
No, but even if you go to and I've never been to Japan, so this is only the shit I've seen in YouTube, and I've never been to. But Japan, like the streets are spotless. You know what I mean?
It's a
like
culture thing, though.
Right? It is a culture thing, and that kind of I guess we got to question our own culture.
100%.
Yeah, I mean, but like Marlon said, he said this before. A lot of times you might see some trash outside the crib. You know what? I'm gonna pick it up, right? Because normally if you let trash build, then what somebody else gonna do when they see it? They just gonna toss their shit. Add
That's the
trash.
garbage can.
Yeah. We used to have a guy when I stayed out west. We had a guy, I don't know, he could have been on the spectrum. He just kind of looked like that. So, I'm not trying to talk about him. No, I'm serious. I'm serious because he didn't talk or anything like that. But what I did notice about him, he would go up and down the blocks. And I don't know where he lived, but he went up and down the block and he picked up the garbage. And I thought that was real cool. Even on the exit or the entrance ramp on Austin, like right there on Oak Park side, they would keep that clean, right? And you was like, damn, because they begging for money, right? So a lot of times when they're begging for money, it's dirty and full of cans or whatever. They would keep it clean. I don't mind giving you $1. You keeping it clean right here. You helping the neighborhood out.
But that's how it used to be back in the day, too. You used to have crackheads and stuff just walk up and down a thing because they ain't doing nothing but crack anyway. They have a garbage can and they pick up all the paper in the neighborhood. Every time. They got a little broom or a rake or something and they picking up. And then guess what? Old Mr. Johnson or old Mr. Watson, here go a few dollars because you've been keeping this block clean. Every time he come through there, he do all this. He go to Mr. Johnson, he did all this. Mr. Johnson give him a little few dollars.
Yeah.
My thoughts on, first of all, I agree with literally everything you guys said, right? Everything. As far as it specifies with Jasmine Crockett, though, my number one gripe with her is the race and gender debate that's in every single thing that I've ever heard her talk about. I'm not saying that what she's saying is not true or it is true. I'm just tired of the race and racism and systematic racism conversations because there's bigger conversations to be had. Right. And then on top of that, as far as what me specifically, I'm not speaking for everybody. As far as my lineage goes, my mother was born here. My grandmother was born here. I don't know about my grandmother's mother. So everybody always talks about, we were all pulled over here from across the continents and all that stuff. I don't know anybody in my family that's voluntarily been to Africa, let alone come from there. So I'm saying that to say, like, she just talks that so much. And then on top of that, when it comes to black representation in particular in the government, she just says these all-encompassing comments without giving any context. And by context, I mean, what are these people studying when they're in school? Because you say that, like, she poses it as if there's a specific target to not get these black people in here. Well, look, what degrees are they studying when they're in college?
What, to get them in Congress?
Got to get that African American history degree.
You trying to get them in Congress?
No, in Congress, like the governmental positions.
Oh, okay.
When they're in college, what degrees are they following? Are they following politics throughout their life, or do we have a surplus of barbershops and hair salons?
To get them
and entertainers and sports players. You know what I'm saying?
I think a lot of times they follow the soft sciences. So, they would consider psychology or philosophy or something like that. It's not necessarily what you would want a politician to,
I'm glad you said that. Be humble.
Right? So they wouldn't normally be into law and stuff like that.
So, which is again, even with that, right? Like, what is your educational? What is your career history? Because what are you studying to get into those positions? Because not a lot of people, across the world. In the U.S., I'm going to say, in the U.S. are even studying or trying to get into those positions. So she says, like, I'm the 55th black woman. Well, how many black women are studying or trying to get into your position? And how many of them have actually been denied to where you can prove that they got denied that position because they were black? Can we move on to a better conversation, Ms. Crockett, as it displayed on your name tag on your desk? Like
you said for denied because they was black. I ain't gonna go that far. Like, I agree where you're coming from, but I can't just like totally agree with you because you will never find that because they hide it so well and they really ain't gotta say it. So I can't totally just go on a ledge and say they're gonna specifically say you're not gonna get this because you're black.
Right.
But that will happen.
And that's what I'm saying.
And so that's why I can say I can agree with you to a certain extent, but then to a certain extent I gotta pull back a little bit. Like, they won't say it, but that's the reason why.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, you don't know why these people aren't getting these positions. Now, we can obviously say that, you know, them being black can play a factor into it for sure. I'm not denying that whatsoever. But my thought process is, and the way I've seen people work is, your work and your career history proves itself. If these people don't accept you, then go find somewhere else to go.
Right, but
Like sometimes you can be overqualified and they still want to accept you, bro.
But isn't she representing a district?
I don't know a whole lot of specifically about her. I just listen to her talk on different platforms and stuff. So
No, I'm saying, because if you're representing a district, then more than likely somebody's gonna pick somebody that look like them. You know, and it's up to you all to pick the best representation for you. But if she's, because she's a rep, so I figure like she's representing a district.
I'm just over the conversation about race and racial oppression and getting into different positions. I'm just over it. Like, there's better conversations that require more focus than just constantly talking over and over and over and over and over again about racism and oppression and sexism and stuff.
It make me nervous when you talk like that, bro. Because, like, I feel like a lot, not you, but I feel like a lot of people who talk like that be like, all right, slavery was so long ago, let's quit talking about it. Like, it does not still have effects today. Now, I hear you. It don't have to be the forefront of the conversation, but, like, you can't move forward unless you know where you came from. No?
I agree. That's what I was trying to say. That's what I totally agree. I understand where you're coming from with it, and I agree with you to a certain extent. But it's like a certain extent I got to pull back. Like, it ain't just all that. Just because
Can't forget what happened, bro.
Yeah, just because because like Jerry Day used to tell me this all the time, bro. Just because you did all that and you was one monopoly, that don't mean everybody else can do what you did. They wasn't as tough as you was. They can't get through what you went through and what you've been through. But it doesn't mean like it don't affect them, though. We can't say that. You can't say like it don't affect people that it is to this day. Like Will said, we can't say like you might be right. Like out of 5 people, 3 of them just might want to been qualified. 2 of them are. And then they might be like, you know what? I'd rather get somebody to look like me, so we're going to go in another direction. But they were more than qualified. So that's why I say I can agree with you to a certain extent, but I can't agree with you and I can't go on that ledge with you all the way.
But we agreed with, well, I'm using nepotism specifically, but we agreed with, first, actually, let me rewind. I'm never saying forget that slavery happened or anything that's been systematically in place back in the days that happened to black people. I'm never saying forget it. I'm saying, what are you going to do about it now, and how is that specifically affecting you now? And when I say that, I'm talking your everyday decisions in how you live your life, and the decisions you make when you do go to school, decisions you make when you spend your money. How is that affecting you now? And I don't know if anybody in this that I know of that has ever experienced anything that people back in the days have experienced.
Yeah, it's not necessarily slavery, but we got
different ways.
Remember, Jim Crow was not too long ago either, though.
There's people alive from that. Like, my grandma went through that.
Yeah, they went through it.
Yeah, she's
right,
still alive.
and you're still a byproduct of it.
Yeah, but is that stopping you though?
No, not necessarily.
And that's what I'm getting. But
I've experienced
right, but if we did,
discrimination.
people been having the same conversation probably 20, 30 years ago, and then they'll say, well, is that stopping you? Yeah, because my grandmother 30 years ago was 50. That could have stopped her from something. Like, you know what I'm saying?
My grandparents could have put the whole family in a whole different trajectory if she was available to do certain things that she was not allowed to.
Right, and I'm not disagreeing with that.
Let's be honest, because the other part of this country, their grandparents were able, and that's why they are able to do whatever they want. Right now, we gotta work hard to put our family in a better position now. A lot of them, what's some comic said. White people parents die, they leave a will. Black people parents die, they leave a bill.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
Right? You can't tell me that generations are not profiting from their past generations. So with that being said, you cannot exclude past generations' traumas or none of that. It's all part of it. Now, I get what you're saying. At some point, you do have to take that step forward. You can't look at this and point and be like, oh, this is the reason. This right here is why I can't. I get what you're saying. You do have to continue to move forward. But me personally, I've experienced racial discrimination from the place that we met at. That's why I left. There was a job position that I was equally qualified as somebody from the other side, equally as qualified. Honestly, I was more qualified than he was. Let's dumb it down and say equal. Because you know you got to work twice as hard to run the same goddamn race. We know this. Just that saying alone tells you
just to come
shit
second.
is still going on.
Just to come in second.
Just to come in second, right? So I
disagree with that.
What?
You can disagree all you want.
Yeah, I mean, we'll let that go, but I disagree with it.
But you got to be twice as hard to be just as good?
Yeah, I disagree with that.
Okay, so
Got to win by 15 to win by 1.
by one.
That's a fact.
These are sayings. These ain't just shit we made up.
It's a fact.
So anyway, let's say just equal as qualified. Right? No, fuck it. Let's say the facts. I was more qualified than the person who got it. Right? And the reason I didn't get it, they didn't give me one. Right? And I'm like, yo, I didn't even get a chance to interview. And the person who did the hiring was of the other part and was just like, oh, well, we figured he can do it. What kind of stuff is that? I can't even get an interview, right? And so I left. I tried to sue, but that shit costs money. I was only able to go so far before I ran out of money. And so, don't get me wrong. I wanted to do what you're supposed to by suing, right? Their money longer than mine. I couldn't afford. I'm being honest. I couldn't afford to fight that fight. So should I let it go and keep it pushing? You're right. Now I move forward, and and I feel like I made the best out of what was from that, right? And I have a comedy career. I got this place, and I'm doing other things because I had to go another route. I was already on a route, but I had to change it because I was stopped just because I was black. What do you say to that? That was a couple of years ago.
And that's well, you proved my point in towards the end of what you were saying. What your grandmother went through, of course, that's what they went through, right? And then that got passed down to our parents. And then now we're living our lives and choosing to do whatever it is that we want to do. White person leave a will, black person leave a bill. Again, I always say when we start talking about that, look at the finances, look at the bank statements. What is the money? Where's the money being spent? Because we spend a whole lot of money on fashion and stuff that's not going to build us up long term. Because we always talk about how people we were talking about earlier. How somebody have J's on, but you said pull up in a Mercedes, but you live with your mama or something like that,
right.
Which isn't necessarily a bad thing. But or on a different example, you got $250 J's on, but you riding a bus.
That's what you could live in New York,
right? Well,
But you see how you add that context, right?
Yeah, you got to add
that's all I'm
context.
saying with adding the context. Look at the choices that the individual people are making. What our grandparents went through, for sure, absolutely. There's no question about it. Parents might have caught the tail end of it, and we did not experience the stuff that our grandparents were feeling whatsoever in comparison.
I don't think it's just as out loud. It's most definitely still prevalent. Redlining is still a thing, right? The way they treat the public schools in different neighborhoods is a thing, proven. You can see it. It's on paper. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I don't understand how you are blind to these things.
Because I've done, in particular with schooling, I've done.
We could talk about this forever. I don't want to.
I think it's just in general. I think we have more opportunities than our parents probably did, and our grandparents probably did, but we just don't know how to capitalize on those opportunities.
We're still learning.
We're in the information age,
right?
We're still learning.
I get that, but if you don't know, you just can't say, "Well, we're in the information age." You got to know what information
to look for.
Exactly.
And
so
I
just knowing, hey, some information out there. Okay, what steps? How do we put things in play? And I think that's the part that we're learning right now. Yeah. So yeah, we're definitely behind. But black people. There are some black people who have done well for themselves, I can't necessarily hold them as the standard either.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that at all. I'm just saying, ultimately, my whole thought process is today in 2025, our peers, we making our own choices, and then look at the people's career choices and their work history, all that stuff. Are they trying to get into these positions that Jasmine Crockett is saying that are being denied to them en masse? And it's easy to say that people are being denied these jobs because they're black, but you can't prove that they're being denied these jobs because they're black. That's part one. And then part two is
it's extremely overt. I can't prove that they didn't hire me because I wasn't black.
Right. So I'm saying, like, if we talked about this on the podcast before, if I have a job and I have a position that needs to be filled at my job, and I know my homie is applying for this job versus this other person that I don't know, and I know that my homie can do it. We always talk about people hiring the people that they know.
So you're talking about nepotism.
I didn't know if nepotism was
Yeah, that's
specifically
that's
for a
what-
bloodline.
That
or
is
just,
that is specifically nepotism.
Yeah, that's
You said homie.
so
You
so
said
it's
homies
people
like
you
this.
know and not just a bloodline.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay,
You
I
know
thought-
them. They're your cousin.
So yeah, I don't. I mean, people hire people that they know. That happens all the time. I'm not mad at it. It sucks to experience that, but
It's
But how-
also though when you get an application and your name is Jamal. God damn it! And they know. Okay, we don't even. So you
don't even want that.
you don't. You can't prove that they then threw Jamal shit out there, or you know what I'm saying. My man got an ethnic name, Lamarcus, right? I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry. You know what I mean?
Oh, you already know I'm good
But
with
I'm
that.
just saying, like you got an ethnic name. Motherfuckers see that, they know. Okay, he's not white. You see Joshua, like, I might have a chance. You know what I'm saying? You see
what that nigga is.
you see, right? You know what I mean? I get that and it's all confused. Name white, nigga look Arab. You know what I'm saying? It's just all crazy.
But you also got to know too, like you were saying, if our parents knew what we should know and we knew now, we'll be in better positions.
Yeah.
We wouldn't
They
have to
didn't
go
have access.
through. Yeah, we wouldn't have to go through a lot of the things that we went through. We'll know about credit. We'll know about finances. We'll know we shouldn't be buying those J's. We'll know that we shouldn't be buying those fancy and expensive cars. We should be buying stuff that's more prevalent. So you got to also know is you don't know what you don't know, and we're learning too, so we can pass that down to our kids. Like, don't do that.
Spaces, you caught up on finances. You know what a Roth RIA is?
yeah, when you pay your taxes up front, so it's adjusted to the tax code now in case.
When did you learn about a Roth?
Years ago.
How many? Is it been less than 5? More than 5?
I always okay. You talking about actual knowing it existed or versus or knowing how it works?
You have to know how it works. Knowing it exists does you no good.
Okay. It's probably maybe about 5 years ago.
All right, my best
At
friend,
least-
Caucasian. He's been talking about a Roth since he was 16.
Mm-hmm.
You know why? Because his father got a Roth. You know who had one before him?
His father.
His father.
That's the information.
He had access to that information.
It's true.
Now, in mass, our parents, grandparents ain't never heard of a Roth.
They were just trying to feed your ass.
All
Only
they
Roth
know
I
is-
knew was George.
You hear me?
They're just trying to feed your ass.
So, like, how do you just something simple as that and go, it don't affect us? It do.
That's why I say I can agree with you to a certain extent, but I can't just be spitting that out there, and I can't let you just spit that out there like that. Like, it's not a thing. I understand what you're talking about. Where
It
you
should be the
just-
forefront of the conversation. I hear you.
Yeah, I understand,
I
but
hear
you still got to mention that shit because it is for it is today. Because we learning a lot of stuff that our parents would never thought we learned and done and did or whatever.
We're teaching our parents
That's what I'm
about
saying.
finance.
Thank you. That's in that, and I'm not even
But my-
nearly
but my-
where I should be, but I'm not where I was like 3-4 years ago.
My point is, but my best friend grandparents was teaching them about finance.
That's true.
Right? And that's not a one-off. You know what I'm saying? That's not just, they learned. No. And I can almost guarantee you, any black family, black rich family, they learned it from a white person.
Yeah.
Not like the books. Granted, this is the age of information. We're learning from books and the internet and all these other people who went through it or whatever, right? When you saw another rich black family, they was in a white neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't teaching other black people, right? And it's not no fault of theirs. They learned it from the other end.
Hey, last question I got in there. You can go ahead and put a button on this. J, every day you say your auntie a CPA, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who she learned that from, or did she go to school for
Yeah,
it?
she went to school.
She went to school for it. Like, did her parents put her in that up to that? She just done that on her own.
That was just something she had to.
She just wanted to
went
do?
on. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was just asking because I know you know a little bit about finances too, probably from your aunt, right? That you ask questions. You ask questions to her all the time.
Well, I asked my sister. My sister learned
Sister
from
every
my
day?
aunt. Yeah.
Okay. All right then. But that's somebody who learned and taught it down though.
Yeah,
'cause they was doing it.
she's definitely she's looking out. Yeah. It's definitely things you can ask. She.
All right, let me catch up on the comments.
Oh shit! Hell no! Don't catch up on them comments.
Yeah, dog.
There's about 20 minutes worth of shit.
We just know y'all was having a good
Yeah,
conversation.
they was having a good. They was.
And it was-
and-
I
We
seen
was
it-
watching. We was
And I applaud because it was very respectful. Even though y'all ain't nobody calling
Yeah.
nobody no names, you might have said that sounds silly or that sounds stupid, but it was very respectful, and I agree. I mean, I salute that right there.
What's the
Because
last
most
one?
comments you come into, motherfuckers want to sit up there and call people stupid just because you don't know and you got an opinion.
Okay, I'll highlight one in particular, but I'll catch up these last few. OG said, "Spaces, you sound like a hater." Hey, if that means me expecting better, then I'll be a hater. Specifically, better of black people, because this whole victim mindset of what happened 200, 100 years ago, even 50 years ago, bro, no. Because people go to jail for years and then come out and end up being millionaires. No, I don't accept it anymore. Be Humble said, OG or Heruz, say that again with all capital letters, LMBO. Be Humble asked, should schools teach about finances, Roth IRA and stuff?
Yes, but they not.
But who's in charge of what they teach in schools?
You.
That's true. I was finna just say government.
Napster Beauty said tax season is coming.
That's
gonna be interesting. That's gonna be interesting.
Nah, anything
Joe
else
Biden gonna get his last little bits before he can.
Ain't he? Because I can't wait until 2025 like that nigga.
Everybody gonna be on. Let me get my last little. OG said the context of her comment was in response to the right constant reference to the DEI position of black folks versus new cabinet appointments. That's a whole conversation in itself too. But that's the one thing I forgot to specify in showing that video was I didn't know what she was responding to, because that clearly was a response to something. So now there's one in particular. Be Humble said, spaces you can distance yourself all you want, but you are viewed no different by them. I don't care. If they don't want me, then they don't want me. I'll go figure it out. The victim mindset is so contagious, and it's so prevalent in the thought processes of so many black people in particular, that it shows, and they don't know that it shows. I'm not saying this with you, Be Humble, but come on, man. When are we gonna get over that? Okay, that's how they view us. What are you gonna do about it? Keep complaining, or are you gonna do something? So, yeah, that was all I had.